masters of adaptation, true survival artists. They get by on what nature provides. Seasons and the weather determine their everyday rhythm. They mostly live in barren landscapes of raw beauty, always in harmony with nature. Herders, the guardians of our earth. Their animals graze on a quarter of the Earth's land surface and feed millions of people, sustainably and organically. One of the oldest ways of life points the way to an ecological future. It's time to pay them tribute. The mountains of Kyrgyzstan in Central Asia. In Tian Shan, to the west, known as the Heavenly Mountains, the winter is just turning to spring. It's early June. The Kyrgyz herders drive their herds high up into the mountains to the summer pastures at nearly 2,500 meters. The animals will gather strength here until September. It is the time of the great herd migration. Not far from the city of Narin, down in the valley, we meet herder Bakit Zergalbayev. He will also take his animals up to the mountains. They'll leave tomorrow.
Hey, leave the cows where they are. Just drive the sheep over here.
They can't leave a single animal behind in the valley. Kushtabek, Bakit's 8-year-old son, already drives the sheep and goats together.
Not so easy, is it? Climb down. Are you cold? And your hands? Take my gloves. You see the fog over there? That's where Aktash is. Up on the other side is the Aral, where it's flat. Behind that is Trunkor Su. On our drive, we'll have to cross the Asu River. From there, we'll go to Ekichat, and from there, up to the summer pasture, across the bridge, where we went fishing. We'll go along there. Hurry up, it's time to go. Our sheep are going across there. They want to go around another time. Ride over there and make sure they stay together.
The family's homestead lies 10 kilometers from the nearest village. They have 6 cold winter months behind them.
There's a lot of snow here in the winter, sometimes knee-high or even 1.5 meters high. Then it's hard for the sheep to find food. Also, wolves lurk around our sheep and horses. That's a big problem. The wolves hide in the mountains and come down and attack sheep and horses. That happens often.
In the winter, we have to take care of getting feed for the animals. In the spring, it's lambing season. It's quiet here in the summer. The animals graze up on the summer pastures and stuff themselves with food.
The grass has to grow back so we can use it again in the fall and winter. It's our winter pasture. Hey, finish your tea.
It's time to move to the summer pasture. Everyone has to help out. Yogurt, handmade from cows and sheep's milk, will serve as a provision. But before the family sets out, all their household goods have to be packed. They take nearly everything along. The first stage leads them to the next village, Kyrgyzstan, where Bakit's parents live. The summer yurt has to be loaded.
Hello. Shall we finish up the paperwork? Yes, in a minute. Where are the documents about the pasture use? I mean the pasture book. Is that in the safe? Is there still room in your pasture book?
Johan represents the local pasture committee. Pasturelands are leased to the herders by the state.
This is the eastern part, and here's the southern. You know this farm here. Your pasture is next to it. Okay, I see. Lukubaika is grazing on the other side. How many animals do you have altogether? 375 small animals. Let's calculate it. That makes 3,750 som altogether. There didn't used to be any regulations. Everybody could graze where they wanted to. But there were always arguments about the best spots. Some regions were too closely settled, which wasn't good for the soil. On the other hand, barren regions, or ones that are hard to get to, are completely unused. The pasture committee was founded to better protect the pasture land.
Since then, the spots have been reassigned every year. Bakit is glad. He got the same pasture as last year. Before they take off for the mountains the next day, the family will spend the night with the grandparents. Next morning at 6:30, Bakit and a couple of helpers are already driving the herd through the valley. The first danger lurks only half an hour later.
Watch out that they don't jump in the river.
The narrow bridge is a dangerous bottleneck for the herd.
Where's the little calf? Damn beast. Go, Taku. Catch the calf. Even in the summer, you can't trust the weather. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it snows or hails. When it rains, it's difficult for both us herders and the animals. You have to milk your cows either way. Then it's cold and you're freezing. Animals go missing, you look for them and ride through the cold for days, searching through all the ravines and mountains. You don't always find them. Got it. Off you go. Have a good trip.
Bakit's helpers will traverse 5 mountain ranges and several small rivers with the animals today. The men bear a lot of responsibility. By now, the family has nearly reached their alp. Their summer pasture, or Jailoo, lies at a height of nearly 3,000 meters on the Sultan Sari Plateau. It's still very chilly at night. The spring sets in slowly here.
Okay, now the door, let's see. Careful, lift it slowly, yes, that's good. Now, okay, now it fits.
The entire extended family moves high up into the mountains. It will be their home for the next 3 months. Less than 10 kilometers from Bakit's summer quarters, the Tadakunov family of herders settled in about a week ago. Brothers Altinbek and Atabek, their mother Aisha Bubu, Atabek's wife Kiel, and the children. For the next 3 months, they will all live off what nature provides. Grass, fresh air and water for the animals, milk, meat, wool, and dung for the herders. Aisha Bubu makes fresh mountain butter every day. It is a sustainable life, reduced to the essentials, in direct contact with nature and under open sky. Kiel comes from the capital, Bishkek. Kiel and Atabek have 2 children who are finally old enough to spend the entire summer in the mountains. I don't know what I'm getting myself into yet. It's my first time on the Jailoo. We provide for ourselves. We have fresh milk, butter and cream. It's all ecological. We're out in the fresh air the entire time. Sometimes we and the children feel a little cold, but otherwise everything's fine. What appears to be a traditional lifestyle has only become possible for the herders again since the collapse of the Soviet Union. In Soviet times, we had to obey the law and weren't permitted to move around. As collective farm herders, we had to reach the annual quota. We were provided for. Life was orderly. Trucks delivered groceries. We didn't have to go anywhere. They even brought us hay. But we weren't allowed to have our own animals and only received state wages. As a result, collective knowledge of herding was lost in many areas. Aisha Bubu can still pass the old nomadic knowledge along to her grandchildren. For instance, how to make a fire from animal dung for baking flatbread. During the Soviet era, a sedentary lifestyle was imposed on the Kyrgyz by the Communist Party. Many herders retrained and worked in new professions. People who wanted to remain herders were employed and had to meet the targets of the planned economy. This led to the loss of valuable knowledge. Today, people are refocusing on the traditions. Today, Aisha Bubu's sons Altinbek and Atabek make a good living from their animals. In addition to a herd of sheep and goats, a couple of cows and 20 horses, they also own a huge herd of yaks, about 700 animals. The Highland cattle also spend the winter up in the mountains. A young animal is being caught today.
If only you'd worn gloves.
Not every attempt is successful.
We caught him to sell him. He's a well-fed bull. We can command a good price for him. We'll load him in a minute. Tomorrow is the cattle market. Our father was a yak breeder. We grew up with it. Now my brother and I breed the yaks together. The advantage with yaks is that they're pretty independent, especially in the winter. They're on their own in the mountains, and they feed on good plants that are particularly rich in vitamins. That's why yak meat is so tasty. These animals are very easy to keep since they're so undemanding in the winter.
Extreme cold and strong winds don't faze the robust highland cattle. Their bodies are perfectly adapted to the rough climate in the high mountains. Yaks can go several days without food and water, and when it's freezing, they can slow down their respiration rate. Also, yaks can serve the soil by grazing without pulling out the roots. But Altenbeck is worried about overgrazing and the climate change.
It used to be when we moved here in June or late May, the grass was already this high, twice as high as today. The pastures have gotten significantly more barren since they can no longer regenerate themselves.
In the alpine highlands, the soil is poor and the turf is thin. Too many animals on one spot destroy the ground. The result is overgrazing, degradation. Biodiversity is declining, and with it, the herder's livelihood. But people have recognized the problem. Since 2009, there has been a special pasture law in Kyrgyzstan to protect the grassland. This makes the country a pioneer in Central Asia. Organizations such as Camp Alator are in constant communication with the herders. They work together on modern pasture management. Transmission of knowledge, simulation games, and exchange of experience are important developmental stages. As you see, the pasture consists of 20 puzzle pieces. If you use the pasture correctly, it stays green. If you use it incorrectly, it turns black and dark. That means the earth is getting barren and damaged. How does it look in real life?
Well, it's not so easy. It takes a few years for the pastures to regenerate.
Two factors determine the situation here. For one thing, the climate change is very evident. It's getting drier and drier. There used to be enormous amounts of snow in these areas in the winter. That's no longer the case. Instead, the wind keeps getting stronger. For another thing, more and more people want to work as herders because there's no other work and they lack prospects. Our goal is to look for solutions together.
Азыр эл деген малга эле ишенип калган, малдын көбөйүшү абдан таасир кылып атат. Анын үстүнөн дагы климаттын өзгөрүшү бар.
Solving problems, raising awareness and combining traditional practices with new research findings, this is the only way they can ensure their survival for the future.
Биз келип аларды үйрөтпөйбүз.
We don't want to lecture the herders, but to allow them to learn together and from each other. We bring them together, advise them, and learn from them too. We work together with the Pasture Farming Department and the Academy of Sciences.
Do
all the herders pay their contributions punctually?
Some pay on time, others don't. It depends. Some of them declare fewer animals, so they don't have to pay so much.
How would you describe the situation here? How is the vegetation? According to my map, 344 animals can graze here. Are there really so few here, or are there more?
Yes, I think there are definitely more animals grazing here, maybe 4 or 5 times as many.
The Turdakanov family would like to expand their herd, but this won't happen at the moment. They have understood that the pasture land can't accommodate more. Down in the valley, in the small city of Koshkor, the livestock market takes place every Saturday.
Fellow countrymen, listen up. There's a yurt for sale, brand new, with 50 poles. A white sheep with 2 black lambs is missing in Mantish.
Altenbeck wants to sell a horse at the market for slaughtering. Horse meat is a delicacy in Kyrgyzstan and is also exported to the neighboring country of Kazakhstan.
We keep sheep, cows, horses, yaks, and goats. There's no other alternative for us than pasture farming. Neither potatoes nor grain grow in the mountains, so we keep animals and concentrate on animal husbandry.
Altenbeck makes a good living with his animals. More and more of his countrymen also want to become herders in order to secure their existence. There is a lack of jobs in the country, where about 1/3 of the population lives below the poverty line. Up on Sultan Sari, they are waiting for the herd to arrive. Bakit and Kenzagul have already slaughtered a lamb. As tradition demands, the arrival of the animals will be celebrated with a big feast. Bakit's herd has nearly made it. The helpers have been en route with the animals for 11 hours in icy rain and a harsh wind. The weather has not been kind this year. It's becoming more and more unpredictable. In the Tian Shan Mountains, the climate change is even more extreme than elsewhere. The summers keep getting drier, and the glaciers are melting at record speed. If regional temperatures climb 2 more degrees, the volume of ice in Tian Shan could drop by half by 2050. This would be a fatal development, since Kyrgyzstan's water supply depends on melted glacier water. Finally, in the late afternoon, the exhausted herd and riders reach the summer pasture.
Everything's okay, we've arrived safely.
Did all the animals make it?
1 lamb died.
Did it drown in the river?
I don't know which mother sheep it belongs to.
Doesn't matter.
It was too weak.
That's how things go.
It already happened on the level of the Trunkor Su.
Now the best time of year begins for Bakit and his family.
This is my youngest. To tell you the truth, I hope he becomes a herder like me. Then when he marries, a part of the herd and the farm will go to him so he can lead his own life. Not a bad life in the mountains. The air is clean and healthy. There aren't any disadvantages, only advantages. Can you count them? Look, our horses. The white and brown ones had foals.
Aldı.
Well done.
Sürme o ayağını.
Come on, or you'll freeze.
Aldı bakalım, zırhını gördük.